I'd like to explore the Lasso tool with you in this podcast. More specifically, the magnetic lasso. If you go to your tools and you click, you'll see that or rather if you click and hold, you'll see that you get the magnetic lasso tool. This does pretty much what it says it does. It sticks to the edges with contrast. So what we want to do is select that tool, and you'll see that you have the control bar at the top. And if you hover over all the variables, you see what they do with the tooltip. So the width sets the distance from the edge of the object to consider for the path. So how far away can you drag with your mouse for it to consider the edge, for it to stick to the edge. So it basically, if this is a magnet, how strong is your magnet? From how far away will it attract it? The edge contrast is the difference between your object and its background. And then the frequency, how many points you want to set down. Okay, and in this case we don't want to feather it at all. We want to simply select this axe. So what I'm going to do is click and let go. So right now my hand is off my mouse. So you can just move the mouse nice and gently along the edge, and I'm not clicking down right now. I'm just moving the mouse along the surface of my desk and clicking, or sorry, I'm not clicking, I'm dragging around, and it's doing all the work detecting the edge of the axe. And granted, this photo is fairly high contrast. The axe is against a white background, so this wouldn't work for all circumstances, but in areas like this it works pretty darn well. So I'm just going to drag around, and you can see the speed at which I'm going. I'm giving it the chance to detect the edges, and you can actually see it work like a magnet. So I guess I started down lower here. So I'm down at the end and I click, and there we go. I'm going to zoom into a high contrast area to show you how it's selected. So it did a pretty good job. It's not perfect, but you could set your tolerances. Well, it's pretty darn good actually. You can set the tolerances of it to work just the best way for your image, and it does a really good job. So what I'd like you to do with this is actually just type Apple J and get the axe on its own layer and name it. And if we turn off the background layer, we see that our axe is isolated on its own layer, so we could drag it into another canvas if we wanted, or do whatever we want with it. So we're done.